So welcome to the class I'm sharing on using essential oils safely. I'm not going to go through a whole bunch of information on individual essential oils. I have other classes that I do that on, but I get a lot of questions, whether it's from people that have never used oils, people that have used oils for a long time, about how to be safe with them. And what I discover is a lot of people are kind of nervous about using essential oils and using new products that they're not familiar with. So I thought I'd throw this out there and see if I can help some people out. I work with Young Living Essential Oils because I trust the company and I trust their products. One of the reasons I trust them is because of their mission statement. Every company basically has a mission statement. So I challenge you to go find some products in your house, figure out what company they come from, and see if you know their mission statement, see if you can find it. And if you do, see if it rings true to you, if it makes sense to you, if it's something that you believe in. So the mission statement of Young Living is: we honor our stewardship to champion nature's living energy, essential oils, by fostering a community of healing and discovery while inspiring individuals to wellness, purpose, and abundance. Almost every single word in there makes me feel good. It makes me feel good about the company, about the products, and about the choices that I'm making, because whatever it is that I purchase and use is a choice that I'm making. So I want to make sure it's a choice that's in alignment with me. And now my mouse isn't working. There we go. So Young Living has a quality commitment that is very high, very important. And we call it Seed to Seal. There's 3 pillars in Seed to Seal: sourcing, science, and standards. If you want to read up more, watch some videos. They have great videos on each of their pillars, Seed to Seal, standards, and lots of information. You can go to seedtoseal.com and see all of that. Everything that Young Living does, they try to do with open doors, with open hearts, and with transparency. So if you decide you want to visit a farm, or you happen to be traveling and passing by a farm, you're welcome to stop in and see what's happening. You're welcome to participate in the harvests, in the planting, and in the entire process, to go to the distilleries and see essential oils being distilled. You can visit the headquarters and see some of the research pieces happening. They do have some of that behind closed doors because, you know, it's research and it's science, but they often have glass windows so that you can see what's happening. You just don't necessarily get to go in there and you know, pick through things. Can you see me, Cecilia?
Something went wrong. I see you. I don't see the thing anymore. Something went wrong.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing and go start sharing again and see if that makes a difference. Share screen.
Okay, it's back on.
All right, back on. Good. So when we start talking about essential oils, one of the things I really want to make clear with people is how potent Young Living essential oils are, right? If you take 1 drop of peppermint essential oil and you're trying to figure out how much peppermint material it would take to make that 1 drop of essential oil, you would have to brew 26 cups of peppermint tea to get the same essential oil as 1 drop of peppermint. So it's potent stuff. It takes 75 lemons to make a 15 milliliter bottle of lemon oil, because in Young Living, in our citrus oils, we cold press the rinds. It's not the juice of the lemon that they use. The oil itself, the essential oil, comes from the rind. So it's cold pressed. So it takes 75 lemons to make 1 15 milliliter bottle of lemon oil. It takes 27 square feet of lavender plants to make 1 15 milliliter bottle of lavender. And it takes a pound of raw peppermint material to make 1 15 milliliter bottle of peppermint oil. And then if you're going to talk about one of our most expensive ones, rose, it takes 33 pounds of rose petals, red rose petals, to make a 5 milliliter bottle of pure rose oil. So when I go walk around a grocery store or any other area and I see rose essential oil for $3 or $10 or $20, I know that's not real. That's not pure essential oil. It might be rose water, but it's not pure essential oil. Think about how much a dozen roses cost. It's almost Valentine's Day when I'm doing this recording, so a lot of people are thinking about roses. I don't know how much they cost, but even if you're looking for organic roses, high quality, handcrafted, like hand grown, hand picked, hand everything. When they pick the roses for distillation, they hand pick all of them within 2 hours before the sun rises, when there's still dew on the petals, and they have to distill it while there's still dew on the petals. There's such a small timeline to harvest and distill rose essential oil, because if you wait until that's dry, the oils aren't coming through the plant. If you do it too early or too late, you're not going to get all the constituents that you need to get everything that rose has to offer. And they have to be hand picked, the petals only. So if you think about how much a dozen roses costs, organic, high quality, beautiful red roses, I'm going to say $50. You could probably find them cheaper. But then you imagine pulling the petals off of that dozen roses. How much do those petals weigh? Not very much. Definitely not a pound. And one bottle takes 33 pounds of petals. So yeah, it's pricey. But yeah, it's pricey for a reason. It is so super concentrated that we want to pay attention to that. Oops, sorry. My thing's going in the wrong direction now. So there's 3 ways to use essential oils. We have topical, inhalation, and dietary. And within Young Living, let's start with this. What's the largest organ of your body? Many people know what this is, more nowadays than used to. It's your skin. It takes 26 seconds for chemicals from personal care products to enter your bloodstream once they're applied to your skin, anywhere on your skin. If you were to put a probe on the top of your head and an oil, a lotion, a product, something on the bottom of your feet, within 26 seconds, it's within your bloodstream and it can be registered at the top of your head on that probe. And within 3 minutes, it's throughout your entire system. It doesn't take long. And if you don't believe me, I can guarantee you that the pharmaceutical industry has figured this out. That's why we have so many patches. We have nicotine patches, we have hormone patches, we have pain patches, we have motion sickness patches. There's patches for everything these days, and they're coming out with more and more because they know how effective it is to put on your skin. Anything you put on your skin gets into your bloodstream. That means anything. So what you wash your clothes with, the things you put in the dryer, the things you put in your mouth to clean your teeth and your gums, anything you put on any of your skin gets into your bloodstream. It's important to pay attention to what you're using. Your feet are a really great and generally safe place to use essential oils. You have very large skin pores at the bottom of your feet. I really like to keep this picture up here on the right-hand side of the foot. It's an image showing the vascularity, the blood flow at the bottom of the foot. And look how many of those little capillaries and big ones show up at the bottom. So anything you put on the bottoms of your feet on those big pores are going to soak into your bloodstream pretty quickly. You have all the reflex points of your organs at the bottom of your feet. If you ever study reflexology or acupuncture or go to a reflexologist or an acupuncturist, the bottoms of your feet basically have a map for your entire body. So you can use those charts if you want to target an organ in your body or an area in your body. You can use a reflexology chart to map where on your foot that is and use oils in that area. It's a really great place to treat your whole body just by using your feet. It only takes 1, 2, or 3 drops of essential oil. Rub it in your feet, rub your soles together. It's safe, it's fast, it's convenient. And if there's any buddy around you that doesn't like the smell, or an oil that you don't like the smell of but you know you need, putting it on your feet and then putting your socks and shoes on is a great way to start the day. When there's an oil that I know I need, but I'm not liking the smell for some reason, which usually means I need it even more. That's what I do. I grab my oil, I put it on my feet after I get out of the shower in the morning, put my socks and shoes on, and then I'm not smelling it, but I'm getting the benefits through my bloodstream. This is a great place to put essential oils on kids too. I have 1 niece and 5 nephews, and they love it when I come to visit. The first thing my niece, first thing she does when I walk in the door no longer is running and giving me a hug. She lives many states away from me. The first thing she does is she sits down and she takes off her socks and shoes and presents her foot to me because she loves the essential oils. She loves being able to do that, and she knows since she was little that the place I put them on her was her feet. Because what I discovered quickly with her is that she likes to participate. So if I put an oil on her somewhere, she wants to rub it into, and then she touches her eyes, she touches other places. Not so much fun. So she is well trained now that if she puts an oil on her feet, she puts her socks on, she puts her shoes on, she washes her hands, and she knows she's going to be safe. If you get an oil in your eyes, you never want to drip an oil into your eye. If you do, it's not dangerous for the health of your eyeball itself. It's not dangerous for your vision. It's very painful though. You do not want to rinse your eye with water. Oil and water don't mix. Water will actually spread the oil through your eye. So if you do get a drop of oil in your eye or some oil in your eye and you try to rinse it out, the act of putting the water on there will actually make it spread more. Not what you want to do. There's a couple options here. If you grab a carrier oil, you can run that through your eye. The oil will bind with the essential oil because essential oils are fat soluble. They're not water soluble, they're fat soluble. Which is why they work really good in our body, why they work really good topically. We have lipids, fat, just under our skin. So that helps it to distribute. So you can use a carrier oil to help get that out of your eye. You can just put it in the corners or you can run it through. Or you can take a clean, dry tissue or napkin, roll it up, and then put it in the corner to wick the essential oil out. Typically, your eye's probably going to be tearing up and watering. That is salt water, so it doesn't have the same effect as plain water as in helping it spread, but that can help you to wick out any of that excess oil of your eyes. So if it happens, there's a lot of ways to take care of it. We have said this for the entire time that I've been using essential oils. This is something that I've heard. If you get in your eyes, use a carrier oil, an olive oil or something to run it through. Don't rinse it with water and wick it out. And I know somebody in the industry who's been in longer than me who knew that, who told many, many, many people that, but she was moving oils from one bottle to another and accidentally got an entire drop of one in her eye that was very hard and very painful, hot oil. It was uncomfortable for her. So she grabbed the olive oil, she poured a 1/4 cup, and then she looked at it and she couldn't make herself rinse it through her eye. So she called her husband, they went to the emergency room. At the emergency room, she told them what happened. They said, all right, come on back. And they walked in with olive oil, the same brand that she was using, poured it in a cup, 1/4 cup, same amount she was going to use, and ran that through her eye. As soon as they put it through her eye, the pain went away. She went home. They said, nothing to worry about, you'll be okay. And she walked in, saw that she had set up that same setup, and then weeks later, she got a bill for $2,000. So don't do it. This is something that you can definitely take care of. If something happens and you need more support, by all means, go get it. But just wicking it out, adding some carrier oil and wicking it out is an easy way to take care of any oil that you're going to get in your eye. What are you seeing, Cecilia?
My thing just went out again.
It went black?
No, it says it goes to Zoom, leads, G2, crowds, momentum report.
I don't know. Here, I'll stop sharing and start sharing again and see if that brings it back. I bring it back?
Yep.
All right, interesting.
I don't know I hope it's not destroying your video.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
So then I have people ask, okay, but what's a carrier oil? A carrier oil is any plain oil that you can, that is good quality. So avocado oil, coconut oil, almond oil, olive oil, all of these are carrier oils. It's an oil that can carry an essential oil with it. You don't want to use butter. You don't want to use lard. You don't want to use oils like that are more animal based. You want to use a plant based oil generally when you're using essential oils. V6 is the vegetable oil complex that Young Living put together. It doesn't have any essential oils in it. It's 6 vegetable oils mixed together, blended together. And it works really well as a carrier oil. So I have a bottle of this. I keep some of this in my offices because I do a raindrop technique. It's really easy, really handy to have around. But if I don't have this, then I just go to my kitchen and grab what it is that I would normally use. Because if I'm willing to put it on my body, I need to be willing to put it in my body. So I have organic olive oil and coconut oil and almond oil and all these other things that I can use as my carrier oil. When we talk about using oils in baths, a lot of people love to use essential oils in their baths, and it's a great place to do it, whether you're using just a foot basin or a bathtub. What you want to make sure is that you're not adding the water to your bath. Don't pour yourself a nice hot bath and then drip some oil on top. All that's going to do is make a really great diffuser because the heat and the steam is going to put it out into the rest of the room, but it's going to sit on top. Oil and water don't mix, so it's going to lay on top. So if you think about then, let's say you have some sore muscles and you put peppermint and wintergreen in your bathtub and they're floating on top, and then you get in and go to sit down in that hot water, what's the first thing you're going to do? It's going to hit your underside. You're going to come screaming out of that tub with, you know, a lot of action going on in places you don't want action. So if you're going to use an essential oil in water, where you want it to go through the water because you're going to get in with it, whether it's a foot bath or a bathtub, you want to put it in something that can carry it through. This is where Epsom salts are great, baking soda is great, bath salts are great. If you don't have any of that, you can use shampoo, conditioner, bubble bath, anything like that. Just take a handful of it, whatever you're going to use. I've even used table salt. I was house sitting for somebody. They didn't have anything special for the bath. I was having a rough day and I knew I wanted to soak. So I took some table salt, put it in my hand, or kosher salt, whatever. And then I took my oils and put it in the salt, mixed that together, and then that actually goes through and it distributes through the water instead of floating on top. And then when I get in, I'm not having any burning sensations any place where I don't want that. And it goes through the water, it stays with the water, and it doesn't all evaporate into the air. Now, there are cases and places where having that oil float on top is extremely helpful. So if you ever want to make a hot or cold compress, this is great. Take your basin. You want to use metal or glass or ceramic is best. Plastic, not really what we want to do with essential oils. Take your basin and fill it with either the hot or the cold water, whatever it is that you're doing, hot compress or cold compress. And then you put your oil on top. So let's say I'm having cramps. It's that time of the month, I'm having cramps, and I'm going to do a compress with Dragon Thyme essential oil. I put my Dragon Thyme in the water, so now it's floating on top. Then I'm going to take a hand towel, and I'm going to lay it dry. I'm going to lay it on top. And what happens is it absorbs the fluid underneath, and then I turn it over, wring it out. Pretty much, mostly, it's going to be water that comes out and the essential oil that stays in. And now I have my hot or my cold compress that I can put on wherever it is that I need to put. So it's a really nice benefit of the oil floating on top. You just don't want to do that when you're getting in the water too. You want to make sure it's going through the water, not on top. It's important to remember that sometimes more oils is better. Most of the time, less oils is better. It only takes one molecule to trip a receptor site in our brain and in our noses. Simply inhaling the oil to get one molecule is usually enough to get the benefits. That's why diffusing is so effective. So I work with some massage therapists, and one of them just started using essential oils. She had 6 clients on her schedule that day, which is more than she normally does, and she was tired. So she decided she was going to use peppermint on everybody to keep her awake. So she used peppermint essential oil on every massage, and by the 3rd massage, she was so tired she couldn't even keep her eyes open. What she didn't realize was that when you apply too much peppermint, for example, it can sometimes have the opposite effect. It can cause drowsiness instead of waking you up. Too much oils can clog the receptor sites, slowing down the response and giving you the opposite response. So what she had to learn was that if she's using the same oils on many people throughout the day, she needs to be aware of what oils she wants and what benefits she wants for her clients as well as for herself, because she's massaging them in, so she's touching them, she's getting it too. So she learned that if she needs to stay awake all day, she needs to use lavender. It will calm her clients, wake her up. In the rest of the time, what she does is she changes up the oils that she's using throughout the day for her clients so that she's also changing up the effects on herself and she's not being over inundated with one oil. I also want to point out that there is a difference between our essential oils. So we have a regular line of essential oils, and then we have a line that's called the Vitality line. It's a slightly different label on the bottles. These oils are labeled, Vitality oils are labeled for internal use. The other oils are labeled for topical and aromatic use. The FDA and the FTC, I believe it's the FDA, requires that products cannot be labeled as both internal and topical or aromatic. You can't have 3 things in one label. So they came to Young Living and they said, you know, you really need to change up how you're doing this. You have to choose, are you going to label these for internal use or are you going to label them for topical and aromatic use? And if you look out into the regular world, you'll see this. So if you're going to go buy coconut oil because you have some chapped skin and you want to use it to do some lotion or to use in your hair, right? So we're talking about a topical use. Where do you have to go? You have to go to the baking aisle, internal use section of the store to find it. That's where you're going to find it. You're not going to find it in cosmetics. If you're going to use aloe vera juice and you're going to use it in a smoothie, the only place you're going to find that is the cosmetic aisle, unless you're in a specialty store, because it has to be labeled for internal or topical. So aloe vera decided, you know what, we can do topical. And since they did topical, the restrictions in the United States on what you can include in a personal care product are much less than what you can include in an internal product. So then they started to add other chemicals and things to the aloe vera gel for topical use. So if you're going to get aloe vera for using in a smoothie, you want to make sure you're getting a high quality one and probably from a natural food store or something where they actually are labeled for internal use. So Young Living said, okay, we can do that, no problem. We have lemon oil. It's labeled for topical and aromatic use. And we have lemon vitality essential oil. That's labeled for internal use. The only difference is the label. The oil inside the bottles is the same. It's important to remember that the oil inside the bottles is the same. The only difference is the label. All right, so when you swallow something, I'm going to stop this again and reshare it so that Cecilia can see it. We'll get good at this. So when you swallow something, there's a 5% absorbability and bioavailability into the bloodstream. So if I take something, only 5% of it generally gets absorbed and is bioavailable into my bloodstream because it has to be digested. It has to go through my entire system. If I hold something in my mouth for 30 seconds, it has a 95% absorbability and bioavailability into my bloodstream. Just by holding it in my mouth, the skin and the tissue and the mucous membranes in my mouth allows it to be absorbed instead of 5%, 95%. So think about this. On a toothpaste package, it says to call poison control if swallowed. If we swallow it, look up at that first bullet, there's only a 5% bioavailability. So that's really not a good sign when it's intended to be scrubbed around in your mouth for at least 2 minutes twice a day. Think about that. You're scrubbing it around for 2 minutes. That's 4 times that 30-second threshold to get 95% into your bloodstream. And we're doing that twice a day. It's a really scary thought. Think about what's in your toothpaste and what's in your mouthwash. Do you really want that running through your bloodstream? So pay attention to what's in your products. This is why I use Young Living Thieves mouthwash, dental floss, and toothpaste to take care of my mouth. I don't want the things that I can't swallow in my toothpaste and my mouthwash. That's going into my bloodstream even more than if I just drank it, which, by the way, don't go out and drink your mouthwash. Not a good idea. So in Young Living, we like to think about ditching the chemicals. Now, everything has chemicals in it. So when I say ditch the chemicals, I'm talking about synthetic toxic chemicals. Yes, the essential oils all have chemicals. They are chemicals. The food in my fridge has chemicals. It is chemicals. I am chemicals. Chemicals are not bad. Synthetic chemicals, not good. Toxic chemicals, definitely not good. So the Thieves line has a lot of products that doesn't have any of those chemicals in it. So we have line for cleaning. We have our cleaning products. We have cleaning products for dishes. We have cleaning products for the laundry room. We have just general household cleaning products. We have Thieves products for mouth. That would be the dental floss, the mouthwash, and the toothpaste. We have Thieves soaps, bar soaps, foaming hand soaps. We have Thieves water purifiers, waterless hand purifiers. And then we have Thieves cough drops, throat lozenges, and mints. All of the things that we use, or many of the things that we use in the average day to take care of ourselves, our own health and cleanliness, and the health and cleanliness of our homes, our offices, and our cars, we can get through Young Living and use through Young Living in this product line. It's an amazing product line. Okay, so we're talking about safety, and we're talking about safety and usage within with essential oils, but I want to include some of the other products that Young Living has, because I think a lot of people miss them. So I'm going to talk about the CBD line really quickly. I'm not going to tell you everything there is to know about CBD. I'm not going to go through all the products. I do a CBD class. If you're interested in that, reach out to me, let me know. But there is a CBD line within Young Living. This CBD line has 0.00% THC. THC is the chemical that a lot of people don't want in their CBD products. There's a big difference between hemp and marijuana. You can see the difference if you just look at a hemp field and a marijuana field. Hemp plants grow tall, they grow thin, and they're not super leafy. Marijuana plants tend to bush out. They have lots of leaves that come out, and they get a resin on it that's much more sticky. And that sticky resin is the part that has the psychoactive, psychotropic effects that people that are just wanting CBD often don't want. There's a lot of chaos in the world of CBD products right now, and a lot of different versions and kinds of CBD. And it's like the wild, wild west of CBD. It can get kind of scary if you start looking into it. And I suggest you do if you're using the products. So there are full spectrum oils. This generally tends to be the gold standard. It's standardized. There's no solvents in it. Regular formulas often are solvent based, which means they had to use, in order to get the CBD out of the hemp plant, people often use solvents like paint thinner to get it out. That's a problem. I don't then want to use that on or in my body because I'm getting the solvent also. So we want to make sure that we don't do that. Raw is also a possibility, but it's not as potent, it's not as useful or available in our systems. Hemp oils and hemp extracts. Hemp seed oil doesn't have any THC, but it also doesn't have any CBD. It's just the oil. It doesn't have those pieces and parts in it. You can have isolates. Isolates are mostly carbon dioxide extracted, a little bit safer extraction process, generally, usually, depending on the company. But it's buyer beware. Up to 85% of cannabis products, that would be CBD and marijuana, contain pesticides, solvents, and other contaminants. And this is because the hemp plant does an amazing job of cleaning up the environment. If there's a chemical spill or a field, let's say there's a field that somebody's going to want to start growing something organic on, in order to clean up the soil, in order to clean up the area, you can plant a couple of rounds of hemp plants, and that will draw out the heavy metals, that will draw out the toxins from the soil itself and make it ready for organic growth, which is great and useful, and we love it for that, like way to help us clean up our messes and help us clean up the environment. But guess where those toxins and heavy metals are going? They're going straight into the plant. If we then use that plant to get the CBD or anything else out of, and then we use that, we're getting the toxins and we're getting the heavy metals in our system. So you have to be very careful and very aware of where you're getting your CBD products from so that they know their soil quality, they know their heavy metal contamination, and they know what's happening in the plants, and you can find that out. If you're working with a company and they're not making that public, they're not making that known, take another look. Additionally, 70% of CBD products are mislabeled. 43% are underlabeled, 26% are overlabeled, and some products that were tested had no CBD in them whatsoever, even though they were labeled as CBD. With CBD, according to the FDA, you can have up to 0.3% THC in a product and still call it a CBD product. If you're working for a company that does drug testing, that has a zero tolerance policy, or where you really need to make sure you're not getting any THC whatsoever, you have to be really careful. You have to look at what comes after that decimal point. If your CBD product says 0% THC and it doesn't show you what's after that decimal point, don't use it. You're using it at your own risk. You want a product that says 0.00%. That's an isolate if you really want no THC. So just a little bit of chemistry here. Up in the upper left-hand corner is what full spectrum looks like. It has everything from the source of the plant, all of the chemical constituents in it. Upper right-hand side is broad spectrum. It's where they started taking out the THC, okay? Everything except the THC. A CBD isolate has only CBD in it. There's not the CBG, CBN, CBC, CBDA. It's just CBD. It's an isolate, and isolates always end up in powder or crystal form. A terpsilate is where we have the CBD only, which is in the powder form, the isolate, but we add terpenes back into it. Terpenes are the chemical constituents around that help the CBD to work in our system. It's kind of like there's a lock and a key, and the CBD can be the lock, but we need that key to open it up so that we can make it work. The key is the terpenes. Terpenes, by the way, are the chemical constituents that are in all of our essential oils. So it's really important to pay attention to what we add to the CBD in order to make it work. So this is called the entourage effect. Entourage effect, if you think about the picture on the left, one thing trying to move one big heavy thing, trying to accomplish one big task. But if you put a group of similar things together, it makes that task easier to accomplish. This is the entourage effect that we find in CBD products that are CBD only, no THC. We need to add those terpenes back in order for it to function and work well. So in the case of Nature's Ultra, they have CBD only. It's an isolate. It's 0.00% THC. They add in the terpenes from Young Living essential oils, specific ones based on what it is they need to do with that product. And then they also, because all of these are fat soluble, we need to add a carrier oil in order for it to be effective. So they add usually coconut oil in order to make it effective, make it start working. So it's important to pay attention to your CBD products if you're using CBD products. I trust Young Living as a company. I trust the companies they partner with because I've been working with them for a while, and I can go to their farms and check it out and help them out and see and ask questions. One more thing I want to point out about Nature's Ultra is that they publicize, they have the batch number on the bottom of all their products. You can scan the QR code and you can go and see their heavy metal testing for that batch. You can see their solvent testing. You can see all of their testing and their purity for each batch. You can get to that information. It's public, it's publicized, it's not hidden because they know how clean they are and they trust it. Savvy Minerals is another group of products that we have in Young Living that has a very clean and high standard. This is our makeup grouping. I am personally not a makeup user, so I wasn't really interested in the makeup part of Young Living for a very long time. But I have a friend who's a makeup artist, and she had decided that we decided it would be a good idea if I learned to use makeup for when I want to use makeup. So she gave me an amazing makeup lesson. And in the process, I started thinking more and more about makeup and the makeup options out there and what it means. And I realized if I'm putting something on my skin, I want it to be clean and pure and something that I can trust. So when I look at Young Living, that definitely meets that mark. There you go. So there are more than 40 nations that have stricter cosmetic safety regulations than the United States. This includes industrialized nations as well as those that are up and coming. Some third world nations and other nations have stricter regulations on cosmetic and personal use products. Some of these nations have restricted or completely banned more than 1,400 chemicals from cosmetic products. The EU, the European Union, their number of currently banned products, ingredients, is 1,328 products currently banned in Europe. The US FDA has banned or restricted only nine chemicals for safety reasons, where so many countries in the rest of the world are closing in on more than 1.5 thousand chemicals. That's a big difference. That's pretty scary. Savvy Minerals by Young Living bans 2,500 ingredients from their products. They make a quality commitment. They're not going to put anything in their makeup products that is everything on the EU list is on the banned list and then some. They go above and beyond. Anything that we know to be problematic doesn't get put into the materials. When I was at convention last year, I saw this number. The average woman eats approximately 7 pounds of lipstick in her life. That's a lot. I think about, a pound of sugar, 5-pound bag of sugar, add a couple pounds to that, 7 pounds of lipstick. That's a lot of lipstick. And then we started talking about what's contained in the lipstick, the average lipstick. How do they get the color red that they get? A lot of that red is made from a specific kind of beetle that they grow and then they kill and then they crush it up into a powder and then that becomes the red color. And the crazy thing is they don't have to label that in the ingredients. It gets to be labeled under natural ingredient because it's natural. It's a bug. It's a beetle. It comes from nature. It's not something created in a lab. It's a natural ingredient. So check your labels. Are there natural ingredients in your labels? There's also one that they were able to patent or whatever, a number for. So it's red and then one of the numbers. That, when you see that, it means it's that beetle. It's crushed up beetle, but it's red, whatever number. So it's something to pay attention to. When I heard that, I got really leery about what I'm putting on my lips. Yeah, I don't want to eat that. However, with Young Living, I know that those are banned. I know that's on that list. So when they had the lipstick kiss challenge at Young Living to break the Guinness World Record in lipstick impressions, I gladly participated. I put on the Young Living lipstick, I kissed my sticker, I put it on that wall, and together we broke the world record, created a new world record for most lip impressions, contributions, individual, unduplicated, to a lipstick mural. because I trust the company and I trust their product. Ningxia Red is another product and product line that's within Young Living that I use every day. I'm actually drinking it now. It is an antioxidant juice that's super concentrated. One serving of Ningxia Red is 2 ounces of juice. So one bottle lasts me about 2 weeks if I'm just doing my 2 ounce serving. It has so much concentrated nutrients in it. You can get it in the little sachets, the individual travel things. So I get a box of those and I get a couple bottles every few months. And when I'm traveling for work, when I'm traveling for fun, I throw some of those sachets in there to give me the energy boost that I need. And then I drink my Ningxia Red to give myself the energy boost in a safe way. When I look at what is in energy drinks these days, it frightens me. When I think about the sodas that I used to drink, and sometimes still do, on a special occasion, and how much I used to drink, that's scary. Now I make my own sodas, right? Sparkling water these days has totally disrupted the soda industry. And what they are doing is sparkling water with a little bit of juice, with a little bit of flavor. Well, guess what? I got my own. So I went out and I got a soda stream because I like bubbly water. So I use my clean, purified water, mineralized, alkalized water, put it in the soda stream to make my bubbles, put my essential oils in. I might put my Ningxia Red in and top it off with my bubbly water, and I have that instead of a soda. I am making choices for myself that I believe in and I trust, and I'm getting all the nutrient value in the Ningxia Red. It's a great way to boost my immune system, to build my energy, and to support myself. I want to point out that right now, Young Living is having, in February, I should say, February 2020, Young Living is having a special on the Welcome Home Starter Kit. This is for new members only, people that have never been a member of Young Living. Only available in the month of February. It's $125 plus tax and shipping, and it includes 8 oils, 15 milliliters of the lime, lemon, grapefruit, and tangerine, 5 milliliters of lavender, peppermint, frankincense, and valor. And then it has a little wooden base carrier thing and your wholesale membership. It's a great value for somebody that already has kind of been using essential oils. Maybe they have a diffuser, but they haven't started really diving in, or they're using ones that have questionable quality and they want to get into quality. So if you know of somebody, feel free to share that information with them. Generally speaking, when I look at this, it's a great way to start, but the better way to start is with one of the premium starter kits. If you haven't been in Young Living or haven't for a long time, you can enroll. So you get your wholesale membership, which means you're not paying the retail price. You get to order what you want when you want. The premium starter kit has 12 oils, 2 roller balls, 2 different Thieves products, the waterless hand purifier and the cleaner, 2 of the Ningxia Red sachets, so you can try that, and a diffuser. Whether you choose the Desert Mist diffuser or the Dewdrop diffuser, it's $165 for the kit. So for $40 more, you end up with 4 more oils, all the extras, and a diffuser. If you are into upgrades, you can upgrade your kit to the Raindrop diffuser or the Aria diffuser. Both of these diffusers are really fun. They're pretty pricey to buy on their own, so buying them in the kit is a great way to get the diffusers. But any of these diffusers work. They work fine. It's not that it works better. It just has different functionality to it. There are other starter kits that I think people forget to look at, though. We have the Thieves starter kit. So if you're interested in ditching all the toxic chemicals out of your household and you really just want to clean up your environment, your household environment, this is a great place to start with the Thieves starter kit. Has lots of the Thieves products, not all of them, but a great way to start. We also have the Ningxia Red starter kit in case you want to, you're really just interested in that nutritional boost. And then we have a CBD starter kit, which is new, just came out this year. There's 2 versions. Regular CBD starter kit and then the extra strength CBD starter kit. And we have the basic starter kit. The basic starter kit is $35. It includes 1 bottle of Stress Away, a roller ball for it, a Thieves waterless purifier, Thieves mints, and 2 of the Ningxia sachets. And all of these include your wholesale membership. which means if you get any of these kits, you can go online and buy what you want, when you want, at wholesale price without having to pay the retail, without having to go to a middle person, without having to find somebody who happens to be in the office, who happens to have the oil or the product that you want, or have somebody else buy it for you. Makes it really easy to use and to build your own health and wellness. One more tip that I forgot to say in my safety bit was, or I guess two, was that we don't want to use essential oils with plastics. So we don't want to put it in a plastic bin, we don't want to put it in a plastic cup, and we definitely don't want to use a plastic straw, especially if these are citrus oils. Citrus oils break down petrochemicals, which is great, right? We don't want petrochemicals in our bodies, and we're not made up of petrochemicals. But if I put, you know, in my glass, I put lemon or grapefruit essential oil, and then I put my straw in there, it's going to start eating through that straw. And then that's going to get into my drink, and then I'm going to drink it, and that's not a good thing. So don't use plastics with your essential oils as much as possible, especially the citrus ones. Citrus essential oils also can cause you to be photosensitive, which means more prone to being sunburned, more prone to sunlight. This includes artificial, like tanning beds and stuff. You can get sunburned in those. So if you're going to use citrus oils, put them where the sun doesn't shine, or use them in the evening when the sun's not shining. Over time, they can cause that photosensitivity for an extended period of time, so 24 to 48 hours. So just watch out for that. If you're using an essential oil in a sensitive area, so someplace where maybe you don't want a lot of sensations, the suggestion generally is don't do it, but it's your body. You decide what you're going to do. Young Living says that if you're going to use an essential oil in a sensitive area, then you want to use it diluted. And the ratio generally is 1 drop of essential oil to 5 to 10 drops of V6 or carrier oil of your choice. So when you're going to use essential oils in an area, you got to be careful how you're doing it. So for example, my ear. I am never going to take an oil and drip it into my ear. Just not something I'm going to do. Not a good idea. That's not who I am. That doesn't mean I'm not going to use an oil in my ear though. So if I have a need and I want to support something that's going on in my ear, I've had ear issues when I was a kid. They seem to follow me into adulthood sometimes. What I'll do is I'll take a cotton ball and I'll put a drop of my oil on the cotton ball, right? I might use purification or something like that. I'll then take my V6 or my carrier oil, and then I will just rub a little of it around the outside of my ear, right? I'm not like pouring it in, I'm not lathering it on, it's not dripping off, just a little bit around the outside of my ear. And then I'll take my cotton ball with that 1 drop on it, paying attention to where that drop is, and then I'll put the drop so that the drop is at the opening of my ear, and the cotton ball is on the rest. So that carrier oil protects that sensitive skin in there. I'm not shoving it into my ear, I'm not putting it into my ear. It's just on the outside of my ear, right in here, resting right there, so that the oil can do the work it needs to do without affecting and impacting the skin around there. That's how I do it. That doesn't mean that's how you have to do it. But it's important to pay attention to how you use your oils in a safe manner. So for me, that's how I do it. I hope this has been helpful for you. Hopefully you've learned a couple of things. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you got this video from somebody else and they're users of Young Living, feel free to reach out to them. We're all here to help each other. That's another thing that I really like and enjoy about and appreciate about this company is the community and the community building. So we like to work together and help each other out. So reach out, let me know what you think, let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great and wonderful day.